as well. So we're going to start over here on the right-hand side with the okapi.
Oh, beautiful.
Now you might see the white stripes there on the okapi's leg. I think she's related to the zebra. Actually not. Okapi is going to be the closest relatives to a giraffe. And also relatively new to us here in the Western world. Okapis were not discovered until 1901. Coincidentally, 1901, that was the year Walt Disney was born. So very fitting, the okapi was the first animal that we saw. Now the forests here are pretty densely packed with vegetation, so naturally most animals call the forest their home. They're going to be herbivore. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet out here for them. Also, does mean unfortunately that deforestation, biggest threat to them all. It's definitely a reminder to recycle those paper products. I don't see anything down by the water here, so I'll keep moving. Looks like they're going to spot a black rhino up on the hill to the left here. He's doing a pretty good job at camouflage. Kind of over in the corner there, laying down by the rocks. He kind of looks like a rock himself. But the black rhino, they're actually the smaller of the two species found in Africa. Fully grown adults are weighing about 3,000 pounds. Hopefully we'll get a better look at the white rhinos later. They're going to be a lot larger. They're weighing about 5,000 pounds. Not seeing anything else out in the forest here, so we'll keep on moving up towards the Safi River. The Safi River is home to some of the more aquatic animals, like the pink-backed pelicans, hippos, and Nile crocodiles. So be on the lookout for those three animals here in the river. We're also going to be driving right through the center of the river, so if we don't see something at first here on the right, we'll try a little farther up on the left. Like we're definitely going to be spotting some pink-backed pelicans and some hippos a little farther up here. Sorry, pelicans. I also have a wingspan of about 9 feet. 9 feet is about the width of this truck. They're actually one of the smallest species of pelican, though. Trying to catch up to the hippos here before they head back out underwater.
Oh, there.
We got 2 hippos here on the right, 2 more on the left as well. So a group of hippo called a bloat. If you didn't hear them a moment ago when we were making our way down the hill, that's what's called wheeze honking. That's just how they talk to each other. Although it does look like hippos are swimming when they move in the water, I promise you, they rarely aren't. You might be able to see it here. They just sink all the way down to the bottom, just walk along the floor of the river. They can also hold their breath for about 8 minutes. They can be underwater for quite a while, so pretty lucky we saw a few coming up for some breaths there for us. Now, if you'd like to see what the hippos look like underwater, just check out the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail if you haven't yet already. We got a pretty awesome underwater viewing area. Some more hippo there, as well as some fish. Don't worry about the fish, though. Hippos are herbivore. Now, something that's certainly not a herbivore over on the left-hand side are the Nile crocodile. Now, the Nile crocodile, largest of the crocodilian species here in Africa. They do also have the strongest set of jaws as well. Something pretty cool to use their jaws for is to hold their eggs in their mouth, keep them safe from predators till they're ready to hatch. Both female and male crocodile, they both will do that. So although they're quite ferocious, they're quite nurturing parents as well. Now continuing up the hill here, we're going to be heading into the savannah, specifically the western part of the savannah first. Now the western savannah, that's home to some of the more well-known animals, like the giraffes, the zebras, elephants, just to name a few. There's always plenty to see out here on the savannah though, so we're going to see what we can find today. Now just before we head on in here, over on the right-hand side is a baobab tree. The baobab tree also has the nickname, the tree of life, or the upside-down tree. Now, it should look a little familiar, because on your way over here, you had to have passed by a much, much larger one. When you saw earlier, probably had leaves, some pretty cool animals carved in it. In fact, that massive tree of life at the front of the park, that's over 350 animals carved in it. Definitely passed by that one a few more times. We're making our way down the savannah overlook here, and he's spotting a few of those animals out and about, including the zebras, giraffe, and holy cattle. Tons of animals, so we're going to head on in here, see what we can find close to the truck. Now we're going to make one big circle around the savannah though, so if you do spot those animals that are a little far away from us right now, chances are we'll get a lot closer as we're going around. I don't see anything in this immediate area here, so we're going to keep on moving. Might be a little hard to see coming up on the left here. I think you're going to spot some African painted dogs. They're all kind of laying right in the back behind the den right now.
Yeah, way back.
Really hard to see back there by the brush. The painted dogs have the highest hunting success rate of any animal here in Africa. That's about 3 to 4 times out of a lion's at 98%. And we're gonna have another animal coming up on the left here, a lot easier to see. With the dark brown fur here, these are sable antelope. That makes a sable antelope so unique. Given any fight or flight situation, they're always gonna choose to fight, and those horns definitely gonna help them out. Usually if threatened by a predator, they'll just drop down to their knees, point the horns outwards, and fend off that predator. It's like we're moving a little slow through here. You're looking up there, looks like there are some giraffes that are kind of crossing in and out of the road there. Let's see if we can get a little closer to them. Coming up on either side of the truck here, not an animal per se, these big brown things, these are termite mounds. Termite mounds, they serve a couple of purposes for a variety of animals. Obviously termites gonna build the mounds up, they are their homes. Some small animals like meerkats like to climb up on top, use them as a lookout point to watch over their territory. And some of the larger animals like the giraffes coming up here, they use the mounds like a back scratching post, like you might use the corner of a wall in your house. We're getting a little closer look at a Maasai giraffe here on the left-hand side. Now, the Maasai giraffe going to be the largest species of giraffe. Also the tallest animals on the planet. They stand about 18 to 20 feet tall. Got a group of giraffe that's called a tower. I find that very fitting. Now they're known for those very long necks. It does take quite a bit of blood pressure to pump the blood through the neck to reach their brain. Their hearts are about the size of a basketball, weigh up to 25 pounds. I'm coming around the corner here over on the right-hand side. These are Hartman's Mountain Zebra. People have been asked if zebras are black with white stripes or white with black stripes. The answer is technically black with white stripes. We make that assumption based off the color of their noses and their hooves. And my absolute favorite fact about zebra, group of zebra, it's called a dazzle. Hanging out with the giraffes here on the right-hand side, these are Ankoli cattle. They got some pretty massive horns. I think the horns are super heavy because of how large they are. Actually not. They're hollow, but more of a honeycomb-like structure. They really don't weigh too much at all. And yes, they do moo, just like regular cows. Real quick before we pass by the giraffes, up on the hill to the left there is actually my favorite animal on the safari. That's an eland, one of the largest species of antelope. They stand about 6 foot tall at their shoulder. Now there's a female. She weighs about 1,200 pounds. Males weigh about 2,000. Alright, we're gonna hang out, see what side of the road she wants to pass us by. Looks like the left here. I hope everyone got a good night's rest last night, because all the giraffes, they certainly did. About 30 minutes of it. Outside giraffes, they only sleep for about 30 minutes out of their entire day. Promise you that's all they need, though. Now, 30 minutes, not necessarily consecutive either. Usually they'll break that up in a series of 5 and 6 minute naps scattered throughout their day. They usually take those naps standing up with their eyes open. Not down here possible until giraffes are sleeping. Now, resting way up on the hill on the right-hand side, there are some wildebeest up there at the top. And wildebeest can go up to 5 days without taking a single sip of water if they had to. It's going to allow them to migrate for hundreds of miles at a time, not having to stop for any water breaks. Me and my friend, not a wildebeest. Make sure we're taking plenty of water breaks while we're here. Now continuing along here, noticing some fallen down trees around us. Now fallen down trees, that's a pretty good sign that we should be heading into elephant country. So we're going to keep our eyes peeled for those African elephants.
We saw baby elephants. Yeah, that's pretty cute. Oh, I bet you that.
spot any elephants over in this first area here, but in just a moment we're going to head on across the bridge to the other side of the red clay pits. Hopefully everyone's just hanging out over on the other side. Some cool things about elephants here in the meantime as we do head over. Elephants known for their trunks. These are trunks for a few things like eating and drinking. Usually they'll eat around 200 to 300 pounds of vegetation each and every day. However, their digestive systems are incredibly inefficient. About 200 to 300 pounds of food goes in, up to 150 pounds comes right back out. And there are 10 elephants here on the reserve. That's over 1,000 pounds of waste every day just from the elephants alone. I got through the red clay pits here. Looks like there are some elephant tusk marks in the clay, so someone may have been digging at it here. Looks like we're going to spot some elephants coming up on the left-hand side. Pretty good look at a baby over in the far left-hand corner here. If you have any moms on board, this one is for you. Elephant pregnancy is going to last about 22 months long. Now, some might be wondering though, why would there be tusk marks back there in the clay? So elephants are going to use those tusks. They're going to break off chunks of the clay and they're going to eat it, which does sound really gross. But hear me out. That clay is going to contain tons of vitamins, nutrients, minerals, are all very essential to the elephant's diet. So they're breaking off that clay and eating it. Hey, it's kind of like they're taking the multivitamins. Let's circle right around to the other side of the rocks here. Looks like we'll get another pretty good look at some of the adult elephants taken out here. Also, contrary to popular belief, elephants don't drink directly from the trunk itself. That trunk is just a vessel that transport the water right into their mouth. They hold about 5 gallons of water in the trunks. I'm also passing by some more baobab trees here. I mentioned before, they have the nickname the Tree of Life. This isn't for no reason. They can store thousands of gallons of water in those roots. About 10,000 gallons. And if ever were to be a drought, animals like the gorgeous elephants can use their tusks to puncture the roots to access the water. It really shows the circle of life. Now coming up in the water on our left here, these are greater flamingo, which are the largest species of flamingo. And a group of flamingo called a flamboyant. Now they're that pink when they're born. They have more of a grayish white coloring to them. The pink coloring will come in over time though. All the beta carotene found in the brine shrimp that does make up their diet. With that, we're going to head on out of the western savanna to the eastern part of the savanna. Eastern savanna, home to savanna animals like the white rhino, ostrich, cheetah, and lion. So we'll see those four animals out here in the eastern savanna. It's looking like the white rhino are going to be the first ones we'll see over on the left here. Taking a little nap beneath the tree. Like I mentioned before, white rhinos, larger of the two species here in Africa. Fully grown adult males are weighing about 5,000 pounds. The white rhino, that comes from a misinterpretation from the Afrikaans word "weit," meaning wide. So originally they were supposed to be known as the wide rhino. I'll try to circle around here, get a little closer look at them as well. They're kind of hanging out next to the mud pit there, so oftentimes rhinos will just wallow in the mud, coat themselves from head to toe. On a hot day, that mud's like a sunscreen for them, keeps their sensitive skin nice and cool, protected from the sun. There's also going to be a moisturizer for the skin. Now passing the rhinos, also up on the hill to our left here, looks like there is a cheetah laying down kind of towards the center, the left part of the hill there. Oh my god. The camouflage, especially in the shade. But cheetahs, fastest land animals. They current top speeds of up to 16 miles an hour. They can reach in less than 3 seconds. I helped them out. Their claws, non-retractable, meaning they're always out. Claws will help them grip the ground, kind of like cleats on a shoe.
Oh, I see the other one. Yeah, there's one behind the tree and then
It's like a few more cheetahs over on the second hill here. Also pretty good at camouflage, but up towards the left-hand side, got 3 more cheetahs laying down. It's a group of cheetah called a coalition. Now, if you ever get a chance to look at an up-close picture of a cheetah, specifically in their face, you'll see they have a big black vertical line under either one of their eyes. Any sports fans on board, athletes will put eye black under their eyes to shield them from the sun. It's like the natural form of that for the cheetah.
big cat.
Now, also getting ready to pass by a Kopi rock formation here. Now, the Kopi rocks actually serve as a lookout point for some of those very large and predatory animals, like the lions. Might want to watch over their territory. Not seeing any lions over on this side of the rocks here. They're going to be circling right around to the other side, so fingers crossed, hopefully we'll get lucky here. Looks like we're moving a little slow again. I did hear over the radio there were some ostrich crossing the road, 2 trucks ahead of us here.
Sometimes you gotta stop because the animals like to cross maybe.
Reaching up towards the front of the Kopi rocks here, grazing up on the hill to the right-hand side. I mean, an animal we don't see too often. These are water buck, another antelope, but also just the males will have horns. A pretty cool thing water bucks can do, they can secrete from their skin and waterproof their fur. Now, you always know when they do that, it is very fragrant.
Yeah, it is.
A few more rhinos over on the right there, something I mentioned before, but a group of rhino called a crash. They crash into things if they aren't careful, because they have very poor eyesight. Rhinos can only see about 15 to 20 feet in front of them, so they can't even see us right now. They can certainly hear us rolling on by, though. I don't see any lions over there, unfortunately, so they're probably just hanging out in the cave right now. So lions are nocturnal. They spend about 18 to 20 hours of their day either sleeping or resting. Fortunately, they spend that time in an area we're not really able to see them, so I do apologize. I'm noticing some burrows up here on the left. Burrows are a pretty good sign that warthogs have been in the area. Now, warthogs, if they're laying down and not moving, which they are right now, they kind of look like fuzzy rocks. So just through the bushes on the left here, there's a few warthogs laying. I know we've all seen Disney's The Lion King. We know the warthog in that movie. His name's Pumbaa. Pumbaa actually translates to foolish in the Swahili, so definitely want to recommend ever seeing Pumbaa to the warthogs. It's like those ostriches are still lurking pretty close to the road up ahead here, so see if we can squeeze on by. All 3 of the ostriches we're going to see here are female. You can tell from the color of their feathers. Females will have this light gray feather. Males have a dark black. Ostrich is the largest species of bird. They don't use the wings for flight like other birds, though. Wings help them steer when they do run between 35 and 40 miles an hour. And as we pass by the ostriches over in the grass to the right there, those big yellow things, those are ostrich eggs. It's the largest species of bird laying the largest egg as well. Each one of those eggs is roughly the size of 2 dozen regular chicken eggs and weighs to 3 pounds.
All of them are 11.
Oh, it looks like
Our last stop today is going to be Magadi Glen. Magadi Glen features the Warden's Outpost, so we're going to see that coming up on the left here. And so hanging out over here at the Outpost are the Warden's Nigerian Dwarf Goats. Now, if you think the goats are cute, want to get a little more up close and personal with them, I don't know, maybe pet them. Drop on board the Wildlife Express. That's the train that'll take you out to Rafiki's Planet Watch. You can visit the infection section. It's like crazy. You can pet dwarf goats, pigs, sheep, all sorts of cute animals out there. And Rafiki's is open until 4:30 this evening, so you got plenty of time if you'd like to go check that out. But passing through the gate here does mean our safari is unfortunately coming to a close. Now, we did get to see some really cool animals out there today. I know everyone always does have a favorite out on the reserve. So you might be asking yourself, what can I do to help those animals out? My first recommendation is research. You're taking a break later today in the park. Maybe once you get back to your house or hotel room, just Google that favorite animal that you saw out there. See if there's any conservation efforts being done to help the animal out. Also, see if there's